What if everything you think you know about history is incomplete, not entirely false, but carefully selected? History books often present the past as a clean sequence of dates, heroes, and victories, but real history is messy, uncomfortable, and sometimes dangerous to tell. Entire civilizations rose and fell not just because of bravery or genius, but because of greed, fear, betrayal, and hidden decisions made behind closed doors. What schools teach us is the approved version, the version that doesn't challenge power, doesn't question winners, and doesn't disturb national pride. This version is designed to feel safe, simple, and inspiring. It highlights triumphs but quietly ignores suffering, controversy, and moral failure, shaping how generations understand the past without ever questioning who controlled the story. Yet beneath the surface of every great empire lie truths that were buried, erased, or softened with time. These truths reveal a different reality, one where ambition often outweighed morality, and progress was built alongside exploitation. Many uncomfortable facts were excluded not because they were unimportant, but because they threatened the image of greatness. In this video, we are not here to rewrite history, but to uncover what was left out, from empires that claimed moral superiority while practicing brutality, to discoveries that were ignored because they didn't fit the narrative. These are the hidden truths they never taught us in history books. One of the oldest truths, rarely discussed, is this: history is written by those who win. When an empire conquers another, it doesn't just take land, it takes the right to tell the story. Records are destroyed, languages fade, and entire perspectives disappear from collective memory. The Roman Empire, for example, is remembered as a symbol of law, civilization, and order. But much of what we know about Rome comes from Roman writers themselves, carefully shaping how future generations would view their rule and their enemies. The voices of conquered tribes, Celts, Gauls, and Carthaginians, are almost entirely missing. Their suffering, resistance, and losses survive only through the words of their conquerors, turning victims into footnotes of history. When only one side writes history, morality becomes flexible. Violence is reframed as necessity. Conquest becomes civilization, and power disguises itself as progress, leaving the truth forever incomplete. History books glorify monuments, golden ages, and powerful rulers, but rarely ask who paid the price. Behind every great empire stood millions whose lives were consumed by forced labor, slavery, and systemic exploitation. The Roman economy depended on enslaved populations, while ancient Greece, praised as the birthplace of democracy, denied freedom to women, foreigners, and slaves who formed the backbone of its society. Even empires claiming moral or religious authority justified oppression in the name of order, stability, or divine will. These realities did not vanish. They were simply pushed into the shadows. Empires were not built by kings alone. They were built by the suffering of the invisible, whose pain history often reduces to silence. Another hidden truth is how much human knowledge has been lost, sometimes deliberately. Ancient civilizations achieved remarkable advances in medicine, engineering, and astronomy that later societies struggled to rediscover. The Library of Alexandria symbolized humanity's collective memory. Its destruction erased centuries of thought, innovation, and discovery. Yet history often treats this loss as a minor footnote. Knowledge that challenged authority was frequently labeled dangerous or heretical. New rulers erased old ideas to strengthen control and reshape belief systems. History celebrates heroes, but hides their shadows. Many figures praised as nation builders also committed acts that would be condemned by modern standards. Wars were justified as unification, massacres rebranded as stability, and conquest rewritten as destiny, all to preserve heroic images. Textbooks simplify complex humans into flawless symbols because moral ambiguity is uncomfortable and difficult to teach. But removing these shadows does not strengthen history. It weakens it by turning warnings into myths. Religion has often been used as a political instrument rather than pure spiritual guidance. Rulers invoke divine approval to legitimize authority and silence opposition. This does not mean faith itself was false, but it was frequently manipulated to serve power and expand control. When belief becomes law, questioning leadership becomes heresy, and obedience is framed as devotion. Many conflicts remembered as religious were driven by land, resources, and dominance, rather than faith alone. Silence is history's most powerful weapon. Entire communities vanished from records, not because they lacked importance, but because remembering them threatened authority. Women leaders, scientific thinkers, defeated civilizations, and peaceful movements were systematically excluded. What is missing from textbooks often matters more than what is included. Forgetting is not accidental, it is selective, and selection shapes identity and power. These hidden truths are not confined to the past. They influence modern politics, nationalism, and global conflicts. When history is simplified, societies repeat mistakes, believing they are different this time. Understanding history honestly does not create hatred. It creates awareness and accountability. The greatest hidden truth is this: the moment we stop questioning history, we become prisoners of it.